In the 2000 election, George W. Bush defeated Al Gore and ascended to the presidency. However, although he may have won the electoral vote of the country, he didn't win the popular vote. He actually ended up losing that.
This raises the question, how effective is the electoral college system?
And we were able to determine a linear model comparing the electoral college's effectiveness to the effectiveness of the popular vote.
We found some very interesting patterns in this and may even also be able to use this to predict how well President Obama might do in his presidency.
And also future presidents of this great country.
During our data mining process, we collected 13 sources of historical rankings of each president to compare how well or how experts rank each president compared to how well they did in their popular vote margins and their electoral vote ratios in order to determine whether or not these votes actually reflected upon how well they would do in their term.
After collecting all the data that we had compiled, we analyzed it by placing all the data points in scatter plots. After elimination of about 10 outliers, the popular vote margin graph yielded some pretty interesting results. We found a relatively high correlation of an R-squared value of around 0.4. However, the electoral college graph still yielded no correlation. The R-squared value was around 0.03, which is very, very low. Thus, our data showed, or rather our graphs and our analysis showed, that the correlation between presidential success and popular vote margin is a lot greater than the correlation between presidential success and electoral vote college ratios, showing that the popular vote margin is a much better indicator of presidential success than the electoral college. Although the electoral college is not a completely flawed institution, we believe that several steps can be taken to improve it. One suggestion that we have is that instead of a candidate receiving all of the electoral college votes from a state when he or she wins that state, they only receive a number of votes that's proportional to their popular vote in that state. So say that I was running for the President of the United States of America, and that in state X I received 60% of the popular vote. Now, normally under the current conditions, I would receive all 10 electoral votes of that state. However, in our proposed solution, I would only receive 6, and my opponent who won 40% of the votes would take 4 electoral college votes. We believe that such a process would ensure a more democratic and fair. Thank you. Now that said, we realize that our data and our analysis is not flawless. There are certain working variables that we did not have the resources to look at. Some of these variables include age, race, sex, religion. However, you can never achieve a perfect model for something that's so subjective, so highly variable. And we think that our analysis does justice to the situation.